Hello everyone, my name is Rajesh Soni and I am an expert corporate trainer with Miracle Corporate Solutions in IoT and machine learning space. Just to give you my brief introduction, I have more than 2.5 decades of experience in IT industry, handling various roles starting from a developer to handling multiple product development portfolios as head of technology and CTO. I have worked in organizations such as IBM Global Services, Global Logic, and Zenser Technologies, and my experience lies in emerging technologies such as machine learning, data science, and Internet of Things. I have been associated with a startup company where we have developed an IoT solution in industrial IoT space, and we have used a lot of machine learning scenarios on sensor data to provide high value business insights to our target customers. I really look forward to sharing these practical insights with you all during the course of these sessions. I am also an accredited information technology teacher certified by AIMA, besides being a master's in information systems from BITS Pilani. I hold many certifications in my area of expertise, and I am associated with training and education space for over 5 years now. So coming back to today's session, I'll be taking up a session on linear regression today, which is a very important algorithm which every data scientist must know. So prior to getting deep into it, let us discuss the agenda for this session. So the agenda of this discussion is that we will uh, define why to use linear regression, and we'll put the things in right perspective by discussing a real life case study. Then we'll move on to defining what is linear regression and what is the mathematical background behind it. Post that, we will fit a line to the data, and we will discuss the concept of sum of square residual and least square fitting. We will also plot the sum of square residual versus slope and intercept to determine the minimum value of sum of square residual. Like with any model, it is also important to evaluate its effectiveness and accuracy. So we'll use the concept of R squared to determine the accuracy and effectiveness of the model. We will also set the necessary mathematical background behind it, and we'll also see that how R squared assists us to determine the accuracy of the model. Then we'll move on to a hands-on exercise, and we'll predict the salary with experience for a multinational manufacturing company using R programming language. Subsequent sessions will also have some important topics coverage like limitations of R squared and how adjusted R squared addresses those limitations. We will also discuss the statistical significance of R squared using p-value. So without any further delay, let's get into the session. So we'll, using the concept of machine learning and linear regression in particular, we will try to address the problem which a person is facing while entering into a property transaction. So one of the dilemma which a person faces while entering into a property transaction is to ascertain the fair market value of houses in that region. The fair market value is required so as to have a win-win negotiation situation. How do you feel that that person can approach this issue methodically? So the most logical thing for that person to do is to gather some data regarding to similar houses with different features. So either you can go to that area and gather data such as houses of different sizes, age, number of bedrooms, distance from the school or a market versus price. You can also go to some property portal and get this data. As you can see that this data may have multiple dimensions and multiple features like size, age, number of bedrooms, but for the purpose of explanation of concept, we'll focus on only two important dimensions, which is price as a function of size. So when we have only two dimension, we call it a simple linear regression, and if there are multiple features involved, it is called multivariate regression. So you can see that once we have that data, the next logical step which we will perform is to plot that data on a graph. We also call it a scatter plot. So once we have this scatter plot in place, we can intuitively see that the data is following a linear pattern. We also see that there is a positive correlation between the price and size of the house. And when we say positive correlation, we can see that with the increasing size of the house, the price of the house is also increasing. Just as a food of thought, please think what will be the correlation between price and age of the house. Will it follow a positive correlation or a negative correlation? So once we have the scatter plot in place, the next step would be to fit a line to the data. Now you might think that why fitting the line to the data is important. Fitting the line to the data assists us to predict the price of house of any size, even the size not in my original sample data. So fitting a line also gives me an equation which I can use to put size in that equation and derive or predict any price for that matter. Don't you think it is great? From our high school, we know that the straight line is holding a formula of y is equal to mx plus c. So where m is the slope and c is the intercept of the line. So these values are also called the coefficients. And from the machine learning jargon, y is called an independent variable or criterion and x is called a dependent variable or a predictor. One of the challenge which we will face here is that how to find the best fitting line. As you can see that you can have any line fitted to this data. So how do you know that this is the best fitting line which is helping us to predict the best value of the price? So we will use the concept of least square fitting, which will come in very handy here. So least square fitting is a mathematical procedure for finding the best fitting line or curve to a given set of points. So to find the least square fitting or the best fitting line, we will start with first fitting the worst line to the data. And how do you have the line of worst fit? We will determine this line of worst fit by deriving the average value of all the price points in this data. So what we'll do is that we will take average of all the y values or the price values of all the points in the data sample and we will draw a horizontal line through it. Intuitively, we will see that this line is the worst fitting line, but it gives us a good starting point. Now what we'll do is that once we have this horizontal line in place, we will find the distance between the horizontal line and y values of all the data points. And we call this value a residual or an error. Now you can see that these residual values for every data point can hold positive or negative values, right? So because some of the data points are lying below the line and some of the data points are lying above the line. So we do this for every point and we sum them. But you can see that simply summing them is creating a problem for us. The problem which this summation is giving us is that since some of the data points are lying above the line and some of the data points are below the line, so the positive values are getting cancelled by the negative value. So we are not getting a factual figure here, factual situation here. So to solve this issue, we end up squaring all the values and it gives us one sum of square residual which is a positive one, right? And that is why this is called sum of square residual, because we end up squaring and adding all the values to derive the sum of square residual value for one line, which is the worst fit right now. So once we have the sum of square residual of the worst fitting line, the next challenge is to find a line for which the sum of square residual is minimum. So now we the next step would be to start rotating the line bit by bit, right, towards slope increase. Now, the sum of square residual of for every instance of rotation starts going down, because the sum of square residual now is related to a line which is better fitting than the worst fitting one. As you can see that a slightly rotated line has lower residual as compared to the line which is the worst fitting one. So the least square fit is the sweet spot where the sum of square residual is minimum. And we'll also see a graph related to it. Coming back to the equation of line, which is y is equal to mx plus c, the line of best fit, right, our endeavor is to find the optimum value of slope and intercept so that the sum of square residual is minimum. I must mention here that we derive the value of this best fitting intercept and slope either using a formula or a concept called gradient descent, right? But for the purpose of concept understanding, it is very important for us to go through these steps and understand how actually the line of best fitting is derived using some series of steps. So once after understanding all these concepts, the next step would be to plot the sum of square residual against a slope. And you can see that as we are increasing the slope, the sum of square residual is going down. And after a point, it starts going up, right? So using this, it is easier for us to find out that what is the slope value for which the sum of square residual is holding a minimum value, because that is where our point of the best fitting line lies. But do you think that solving this two-dimensional graph on the left will solve our issue? I don't think so, because we need intercept value also. So essentially it will be a three-dimensional graph, right? And we do this with a bunch of intercept and slope values and determine the sweet spot where sum of square residual is minimum. So do you think we are done? I mean, once we arrive at best fitting line, do you think that our job is over? The answer is not yet. Now we need to answer a few more questions like, is our prediction of price accurate? Do you think that the size only explains the variation in property price? Or by adding another dimension such as, say, number of bedrooms or the distance of the property from the market or from a school would better explain the variation in price? Do you think that the R squared value which we have derived is statistically significant? To answer the above questions, we need to know and work out the concept of R squared and calculate its p-value. Thank you very much.